So Phase 3, the culminating of many years of buildup, it might be the strongest phase yet, and introduce some of the most important and dynamic characters within the MCU. Today we're going to recast those characters from Phase 3, as if it were happening today. We've already gone through Phase 1 and 2, and now we're tackling characters like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Wasp, and Captain Marvel. So let's recast the Avengers in Phase 3. First up, let's tackle Doctor Strange. Now, very controversial, but I don't love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. It almost seems too easy to me. Don't get me wrong, he's far from bad, but I feel like a much more unexpected choice would have given us a different type of character here. That's why I always love the original choice of Joaquin Phoenix for this. I think he's absolutely perfect. I think he'd do something really interesting with the role, but of course I went different here because everyone's probably already seen Joaquin before. Now it's important we have that gravitas, but someone who's also able to make even the silliest of dialogue seem important and grounded. Now my second choice here, who was narrowly beat out, was Ethan Hawke, but Ethan almost seems a touch too likable. And at his core, Doctor Strange just isn't that. That's why I went with Christian Bale. Now, Christian Bale is far from being unknown, which I always like to lean towards, but I think he perfectly lines up right now in his career of everything Doctor Strange needs to be. He's got intensity in spades, a little bit of that know-it-all mentality, and just the vibe of Doctor Strange. We can buy into him being the best in his field, but I also think he can just act his way through this and really sell me on every single aspect of Doctor Strange. I think he's grown a lot and changed so much that I no longer see him as the face of Batman, and I can really see him walk into Doctor Strange and do something really, really interesting here.
As you well know, death rides on every hand. In this case, a kind providence is watching over.
So Christian Bale as Doctor Strange. Next up, let's tackle Captain Marvel. Now, let me just put this out there. I don't like Captain Marvel, but I don't dislike Brie Larson, but I think it's the worst casting Marvel has ever done. Brie Larson is actually an amazing actress, and she's been in some of my favorite movies. I love Short Term 12, but she does not have what Captain Marvel needs. She falls flat in many ways, but most importantly, I just don't believe her in this role. She lacks the physicality and that athletic nature. Like, I laughed at her just running in these scenes. But still, I digress. If we're replacing her, we need someone who has that military feeling and someone who can really sell that attitude. There is an emotional range here that is required as well, which I think Larson does great with, but I think Yvonne Strahovski is a much, much better choice. She shows all that emotion in Handmaid's Tale and that stern yet powerful nature. She's shown physicality in 24 and Chuck, and although it's not the greatest film, The Tomorrow War really shows why she'd work here.
You need to understand something. This is the end. Within the next few weeks, the human species will disappear from the face of the earth. We are literally living on borrowed time.
She's got this beauty and womanly way to her, but that doesn't take away from her power. So Yvonne Strahovski as Captain Marvel. Up next, let's tackle Spider-Man. Now, I have a whole series of videos who I'd cast as Spider-Man across the universe as well as the villains, but as many pointed out in those videos, they'd like to see a Spider-Man who's a little bit older and out of high school. And although it seems to be where Tom Holland is heading right now, I'll take this opportunity to cast that Spider-Man. To replace the Spider-Man in Civil War, I'll stick with my original pick, Noah Jupe, but as an older Spider-Man, I'd really like to see Dylan O'Brien in the role. The man has humor, athletic ability, and a bunch of other talents that have not been utilized. He was actually great in The Maze Runner, and although that series really missteps towards the end, I think he really shows that he has the star-making quality.
I freaking love it.
That's super sweet, because it's terrible.
I got you something too.
What?
I don't know if these are the right ones.
No way. These were the ones that I wanted to get.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. Hey.
What's happening right now? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm dancing on my shoulders. Oh, yeah.
I honestly really enjoy him in everything that he's been in, and I think he really has what it takes to bring an older Spider-Man to screen. So Dylan O'Brien as Spider-Man. Next up, let's do Wasp. Now, with Wasp, Evangeline Lilly is just fine. A character that I've never really put much thought to. She serves her purpose, and that's about it. Now, I don't think we need to reinvent this character like we did with other ones, but I would like a little bit more personality shining through. She is a badass and a love interest for Scott Lang. That's about it in the films. I'd like to see a little bit more of her sarcasm shining through, and someone who could just pop more off screen. Now, I've cast Mary Elizabeth Winstead in a lot because honestly, she's amazing, but I think this superhero role might be the best fit for her. I think she's amazing in a lot of roles and really can do diverse things, but recently she's been diving into action, and in things like Birds of Prey and Kate, you can really see why she'd shine here. I think she can do everything from that emotional to the sarcastic and really shine as Wasp.
You know how I knew you were human? When you showed up back at base? Your earring. It was your other ear.
So Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Wasp. Lastly, we have Black Panther. Now before I even try, there's no coming close to Chadwick Boseman. And although his brother said Chadwick would like the role recast, that's almost impossible. I feel like it's just right to not recast, and I think passing that mantle is the correct choice here. But that being said, I can't back down from a challenge like this one. Now, this is one of the most important castings I've ever done, so I'm not going to take it lightly. Just a reminder, this is not replacing Chadwick, but someone who would start with the role. I think it's important to have an actor who is classically trained, like Boseman was. Someone who is young but has that mature nature. The most important thing here is that presence. Someone who feels powerful, yet wise and gentle. It's important to know we have some physical demands here, and I want an actor who looks like the part, of course. Now, I know that John David Washington is a popular choice here, and while I do like him for the role, I don't quite see it, and with him standing at 5'7", I'm just not so sure about him. I end up going with a lesser known choice and someone that's a little bit more in the Chadwick Boseman vein. I want Sope Dirisu, who has shown his talents in many things, but he's best known for his presence on stage. He's 31, 6'2", and definitely meets the physical demands here. Most importantly, I think he has exactly what I want here. He can nail the accent and has that same gentleness but with power that Chadwick brought so wonderfully to this role.
She's gone. My love, she's gone. The sea took her.
You're not listening.
We survived.
Nonke catch good thing.
English.
And nongich bajam na thwangi.
Listen to what we're saying.
She's
She's dead. Catch!
I think he just has that right feeling to Black Panther. Something I can't explain, but when I see him on screen, I just feel like he'd work incredibly well.
We are one of the good ones. Remember, we are not going back.
So, Sope Dirisu as Black Panther. There are my choices for Phase 3. So how'd I do here? More importantly, how'd I do with my choice of Black Panther? It's one that I researched the hell out of, and I really put importance to. Let me know who you'd like to see in these roles, as well as let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Do you want me to move on to villains, or do you want me to tackle Phase 4, even though it's not over yet? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.